I'm still here. I'm still doing it at a very high level, still on top. That belt is my armor right now, and it's gonna take a lot to pry it from my hands. He grabbed me and he went, "Well, don't fuck this up."
This is Jamie from Complex. We are here with a fairly regular person on the platform. We have CM Punk, the current heavyweight champion of the world. How you doing, sir?
I am great. Yeah, I'm a regular on Complex. I feel like I'm doing something for you guys like once a month now.
I mean, we love having you. Anyway, WWE 2k26. We're
Yeah.
here, and it is coming soon. It is something that the wrestling fans are looking forward to every single year. You are one of the very few superstars to have graced the cover, not once, but twice. And the last time you did was WWE 2k13, which was, in a lot of people's opinion, one of the greatest 2K entries in the history. And, with the Attitude Era, you as one of the features, and it's been a long time since 2013. A lot has happened in your life. I just want to know how the feeling, the emotion, the feeling, and just the overall experience of being CM Punk is now versus 2013.
I mean, it doesn't get any less exciting. I'm on the cover of a video game again. And I think when you're a kid, those are like bucket list items that you don't really recognize as bucket list items. Like the excitement for me never dulls when I have a new action figure coming out. It's the same as when I got a first one. I'm on a cover of a video game again. To me, it just illustrates like the staying power. Like I'm still here. I'm still doing it at a very high level, still on top. So the differences, there's a little bit of gray in my beard. It's really about it.
Yeah, likewise. So pretty much one thing everybody looks forward to is the showcase mode.
Yeah.
But you are also the focal point as well. I mean, it is the CM Punk video game, as might as well just rebrand it. So not only do we get to relive some of your most iconic matches, but we get to play the what if game, like from WWE's past, present. But we also get to do some matches that, while you were gone, with some talent that were prominent during that period of time.
Yeah.
But was there anybody that you heard about or quickly saw a clip of that you thought, man, if I was still there, I could have maybe done something with him?
I mean, I don't think there's anybody that was new to me. You know what I mean? So it was always going to be people that I had probably already worked with or were familiar to me. I think a lot of the call ups after I left that were really exciting were a lot of the girls. That's when you got like Bailey and Becky, Charlotte. Like I missed all their debuts by like a few months because I split.
Yeah. When we are featuring a lot of your actual matches that did happen, a lot of classics, and one of them is WrestleMania 29 with you and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And this match is important for a lot of reasons, it's always something to headline with The Undertaker. And this was also the first WrestleMania match since the passing of Paul Bearer. Mm-hmm. And his presence, his aura was even his passing was heavily used as build up in this storyline. How did that have any weight to it? Like, did that really, knowing that not only are you facing The Undertaker at WrestleMania, but almost a tribute to Paul Heyman, did that have any impact on you going into it?
I mean, it was heavy because while I knew Percy, I didn't know him or have a connection to him like a lot of people in the company did, like Undertaker did. So I was careful to make sure, and his family members, I think his son signed off on it, because I was like, I don't want to do this unless everybody's okay with it, because at that time, my deal was being a bad guy and trying to just get people to pay to see me beat up. So I wasn't sure if they were going to be agreeable to everything, because once you give me the green light, like, are you sure about this? Like, it's going to be pretty heavy. And I was told by people that were super close to him that he would have loved it. So I can just go by with their word. But yeah, it was that's one of those things. It's like it's a privilege and it's an honor to be able to be respected enough to be handed this gift almost. It's a shame that he died, obviously, but
Yeah, of course.
um, that's the to me, it's the magic of what we do is we can pivot and use real life stuff and kind of blur the line. And I was grateful that I was allowed to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean it was a classic, using the urn and Heyman dressing up as Paul. It was something I remember and hold. I was there for that, so it really rang true into the back of the building. So
Yeah.
uh, going into some more of the this one kind of leans on both factual and hypothetical. I could say in this one of the matches that we were told that's going to be featured in your showcase is a match that never happened in a WWE ring, which is you and Eddie Guerrero.
Mhm.
But you guys did have a match, as I'm sure you're aware of, back in 2002
I
with
remember. Yeah.
with you and actually Rey Mysterio and Eddie. And Eddie was in an interesting place in his career at that point. And I think from what we were all told and from his friends that in even yourself in an interview in the past that he almost had something to prove, that he wanted to show that, while his time away isn't ill spent. And did you feel any sense of, importance in like, not honor, but like, did it feel good knowing that like a legend like Eddie wanted to put on classics with you and, another legend like Rey Mysterio?
The idea of going into it to put on a classic, I don't think is ever considered by a lot of people that people consider great. I think you show up and you do the job and you work hard, and that's all Eddie did. There was never like, hey, we're gonna put on this 5-star classic. No, like
Yeah, of
that's
course.
not, like you work with what you have to the best of your ability, and that's all Eddie did. Whether it was, whether he's on the Tokyo Dome or whether it's a barn in Indianapolis, Indiana, or whether it's WrestleMania, like he always worked and gave 100% in the ring.
Yeah, of course it is. And, we all miss him dearly even to this day. And so another match that um, we would remiss to have not mentioned this whatsoever is, of course, the most recent WrestleMania. You finally did it. You main evented WrestleMania 41 with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. This is something that you've been vocal that you've been chasing your entire career, and you finally attained it. And it was, the match itself was great, and you guys really tore the house down. And once you got to the back, and it all sank in. Was it what you expected? Was it better? Was it not as like in terms of the rush, the gratification? How'd that feel?
Oh no, all that was exactly what I'd imagined it was going to be. But that it comes with a lot of pitfalls. Like it's a super high pressure situation. Like you and especially with me because I was so vocal about it for so long. Like um, it was pretty heavy. Like Brett grabbed me right before I went out and like had some words for me, and then Taker, bless his heart, like brings the mood, like just snapped me right back into it because he grabbed me and he went, well, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's what I needed right now, because everybody's giving me these heartfelt speeches and like hugging me and people are emotional and I'm crying, and he kind of just brought the levity, like, oh yeah, okay, like sometimes like we take ourselves too seriously, and even though this is a pretty heavy moment and I was feeling the pressure, I essentially am just wrestling in front of thousands of people in my underwear. So like, you know, our business is funny, but yeah, it was literally, I mean, to me, it was a perfect night. Like it was everything I thought it was going to be. And it was everything it needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were all happy for you,
Thank you.
watching at home. And so speaking of Brett, we're going to transition more into another prominent feature in the video game, which is a lot more matches were added this year.
Yeah.
And a few of them were Inferno matches
Yep.
and dumpster matches and all the and the like. You yourself are a huge Bret Hart fan. You like the more you seem, I mean, from outward appearances, you seem to like more of the work rate matches, the technical the you know the meat and potatoes kind of matches. And but a lot of these new ones are kind of like, the gimmick matches, so to speak.
Yeah.
Even if they may not have been your favorite growing up, was there any like gimmick match like Inferno, Hell in a Cell, or like Dumpster or Bull Rope? Was there any match like gimmick match in particular that you enjoyed coming up?
I mean, I always love cage matches, like as long as there was a reason for it. It wasn't just we're having a cage. Like if, the cage is used traditionally in pro wrestling to keep people out.
Yeah.
So, I like a good cage match. As far as gimmick matches go, those are probably my favorite. There's the classics too. It's like Valentine and Piper and a dog collar. Like when you watch that and realize it was like really the first time on such a wide scale a match like that was seen. Even though, there's been Russian chain matches and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, like along the lines of something a little bit more realistic. Inferno matches, although I feel like because it fit the gimmick and the characters,
Yeah.
Kane and Taker and stuff like that. Um, less of a fan of those. Don't want to do those. Don't want to be set on fire.
Yeah, I mean, who would at this point? I mean, a lot of variable for error there. So yeah, I mean, cage collars, like those are the tried and true classics, like you mentioned. Piper getting his ear busted, like that's just stuff of legend at this point. Speaking of legends, we last year we got a lot of crazy new additions to the roster and even more crazy additions to the DLCs. Think people we never thought we'd see in a game, like
Yes.
Abyss or New Jack, for instance. You have had a wide variety of past people that you've worked with that have gone from anywhere from TNA to the Indies to all over, pretty much all over the landscape of professional wrestling. Is there one person that you think would make a great DLC that people would not be expecting? It could be from anywhere.
Oh, I mean, there's probably tons. And I don't know exactly who all is in the game. I mean, there's over 400 playable characters. So I might name somebody and they'll be like, yeah, he's already in the game or she's already in the game. Um, I I mean, for women, I think Sensational Sherry would be super cool because she was just such a badass. And I think you look back at her career and the stuff she did, whether it was in the ring or whether she was somebody's manager or whatever, like stuff holds up. So she'd be a good one. I don't know if Raven's in the game. I think he's a good
Wow.
one because he's a guy who, so many different incarnations over so many different decades. Like you could have fun with that. Like, yeah, he could be Raven, he could be, Johnny Polo, he could be Scotty the Body, he could be from Portland, Atlanta, like whatever. I think that's cool. That's the neat thing about the game. It really is like fantastical. You can take people from different eras and have them wrestle other people that, were already retired when they started wrestling, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from a player himself, like Raven is long overdue for these games. Like I need to create a flock. I need even Johnny Polo would be welcome.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. You seem to really be thriving since your return, and you really seem to be in a good headspace. You seem to be having a lot of fun, but nowhere did you seem to be having a lot more fun than when you finally got to join your wife again in the ring.
Yeah.
And I mean, people were chanting for it. They've been waiting for it for years, and she did not disappoint one bit. And she was the AJ of old, and you know, we had so many more new additions in this game. First off, before I ask this question, was that as fun as it looked? Because you pretty much had a smile on the entire time.
It was I don't have the words to explain exactly how enjoyable all that was for me. Like I'm her biggest fan, so to have a front row seat literally for her return, and to help kind of put it all together behind the scenes, and the anticipation, like knowing it was going to happen and just knowing like how great it was going to be and what an amazing moment it was going to be. Yeah. Time of my life, 100%. Like I selfishly, I want to tag with her more, like it feels like that might've been a one-off, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those returns that like a lot of people, the people that knew, but it didn't take away from it whatsoever. People want, it's almost like they pretend to be surprised, even though they
Well,
knew.
I mean, we did it properly. We did it the right way. There was
Yes.
breadcrumbs to follow, and sometimes, doing the obvious thing and giving the fans what they want is the right thing to do.
And I know you can't really say yet, but could we possibly be hoping for or looking for an AJ inclusion in this year's game?
Fingers are crossed. I'm not spoiling anything for anybody.
Well, we at least we had to ask, us at Complex being a journalistic integrity and what have
You
you.
probably know more than I do, to be completely honest with you.
Maybe, but we have our feelers out in all aspects. But a welcome feature is you're really a champion of the women in the locker room, which is I think is long overdue that they've gotten to the prominence that they are now. The women have prominently become just as and in a lot of cases better than the men talent in the current landscape. Since intergender matches are back, and they've been back since last year, I'm not saying CM Punk is afraid of anybody, but is there a woman on the roster right now that kind of makes you, shake a little bit when you lace your boots up?
AJ Lee,
Enough said.
healthy respect and fear for AJ Lee when she's got her chucks on.
Enough said. I mean, being a married man myself, I understand completely, completely. So one aspect of the game that people really enjoy is the heavy involvement of NXT. They used to be here or there, but now it's almost the whole roster is included in the game. I know a lot of people just got called up recently, we see that Obafemi's on his way, and Jordan Grace is there now. But anybody that's still in NXT, still in the still a main I mean still on the main roster of NXT, is there anybody that you see as someone that I don't know that you could have good chemistry with, that you can potentially do some fun stuff with?
I think the talent coming up now, we're as a company, we're at a really good place because I think there's a lot of people in positions. In the past, I think when you look at a roster for a Royal Rumble, you can maybe pick. There's less than five guys. Okay, this guy can win. This guy can win. And nowadays, it's legit at least a dozen. You can look at the whole roster and think like, okay, this guy could win a Royal Rumble. This guy, this is this person's year. This person's a dark horse. I and the pipeline is just jam packed full of people. Like you mentioned, Oba Trick just showed up on SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes has been holding it down. And even then, there's still so many people that I think are just like, like next up, Lexus King, I think is in line to do great things. He's a lot different than a lot of those people. I think he has to almost work harder to where, like an Obafemi is like, obviously like a first round blue chip prospect. I think a guy like Lexus King is viewed more like me back in the day, where like they look at him and like they're like, oh, okay, I don't know if I don't know if I get it. So he has to work that much harder. And he's really open to ideas. His mind is not closed. Like he's one of the guys that I think will shock a lot of people when it's all said and done. When it's time to hang up the boots, they can look back at his career and think like, this is a guy who maybe I didn't think much of when I first saw. He put the work in, he busts his ass, and he became really, really good. There's a lot of people in NXT that are like that on both the men and the women's side. As far as me having chemistry with them, um, it's an embarrassment of riches. I'm going to run out of road before I wind up having chances to work with all these guys. I want to work with Carmelo. I want to work with Trick. I want to work with Oba. But in saying that too, I'm also working with somebody who has a very, very bright future. Braun Breaker was one of those guys in NXT that was holding it down and got called up, and sky's the limit for him.
Abs-
Unfortunately, he has to run into the brick wall that is the best in the world.
Yeah, and we wish you all the best of luck with that because he's not a pushover, as we've all seen. But so last year, I'm going to end this. Again, Punk, thank you for your time. This
No
is
problem.
fun. I'm going to finish, concisely with my final question that I've been wondering myself for a while. Last year you did it. You saw the mountaintop. You reached the mountaintop. You main evented. WrestleMania is not that far away from here. It's upon us once again. And you know, you're the world heavyweight champion. You've main evented WrestleMania. What are your hopes for this year? Now that it's almost like you're back on you're back on the summit of Everest again.
Yeah.
Then what hopes do you have going in?
To me, I look at the road to WrestleMania. It feels like it starts earlier and earlier every year, and I'm in a different position now because I'm champion. So I'm not so much chasing a spot or a moment. People are chasing me, so it's kind of really not up to me. I'm stoked being the champion, and my plan is to hold on to it. So when Mania does come around, there's people looking to win the Royal Rumble and there's people looking to win the Elimination Chamber. And those are the people that kind of get to pick and dictate what goes down at WrestleMania. So, um, when you're champ, you have a bullseye on your chest, essentially. To me, I look at it like a good thing because if I'm the champion, that means I don't have to beat 29 other people in a Royal Rumble, and I don't have to wrestle in the Elimination Chamber, which hurts a lot. So I'm comforted knowing that that belt is my armor right now, and it's gonna take a lot to pry it from my hands.
Well, I mean, we're all looking forward to it. We're eyes on Las Vegas once again. But Punk, I want to thank you so much for joining us at Complex once again. I'm sure this is not the last time we're going to see you here. And congratulations once again on the cover of 2K26. I can't wait to play it. And us at Complex, we're always behind you 100%. We're always rooting for you, and we're just so grateful for your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jamie.